Hey everybody, so I have this roadmaster hampton tricycle to put together, and pull it out of the box, and we will start to do this. Okay, so get the bicycle out. You can see the wheels, some wheels there. The wheel on top of the box, front wheel, and the main frame. There's a back frame there on the other side of the box. You can just see that probably. Can you there? So manual is here. Assembly manual. Owner's manual. Let's see if we got the English manual here or not. Oh, tricycle manual. So I'm going to take a quick look at this and then we'll start. Okay, so the first step is to put the handlebar in. So I've undone the handlebar was strapped to the bike. Just to put a bit of grease on it. So I've just got some wheel bearing grease here. It's got to be loose enough so you can get it down in there without binding up. Put it into the minimum mark. It's nothing here, but I guess the labels. And then I have a 6mm Allen key to tighten that up. And of course you want that to be lined up so that it's perpendicular to the forks. I'm just going to snug it a bit and adjust that once I have the wheel on. So it's close enough. Now that that is on, yes, rotate the handlebars up. Snug that up a bit, and then I want to turn the bike upside down because I think the rest of it's going to require the bike to be this way. So, let's see what's next. Okay, so I'm going to slide this rear piece here onto the frame, and what I gather is these slots here are going to go on the bolt up here, and this slot here, and the inner one's going to go down here. So let's see what happens. Okay, just slide up totally. I'm going to have those washers on the outside. Guessing, yes, it shows the washers on the outside of that frame. So. Slide that in. Take these down. That just holds the hardware. I should have a washer for that side. start that on. Pull that piece off. That's just holding it. Okay. Okay, so we're not supposed to tighten these up. We're going to put this other chain on here yet. So, the flat side of the bolt should be pointing up. I don't know what that means. I guess it's this bolt here that's already in place. So, I don't know why the flat side should be up. But if we get it wrong, we'll see it, I guess. So we're going to attach the secondary chain. Bag, put the extra pin and the lock pin there. And it's going to come around this piece all the way to here. Get joined together. That's pretty loose right now. I guess that once that extends out, that'll be fine. It's gonna go in there. That piece gonna go in there. Check that to make sure it got pinned on good enough. So, this one's a little different than what shows in the picture. Anyways, we'll see if that holds together properly or not. Just the clip's a little different than what's shown in the picture. It's got two side ones that come through, so I might have to push that over a bit more yet to lock it into place. But it's on there for now. It says use needle noses to lock it into place. So I'm going to pull this back so that there's no play in the chain. Less than 5 millimeters of play up and down. So that's going to come back. We'll get a wrench. Yep, this is the part where I'm going to get a wrench. So I'm going to go get a wrench and loosen that back off. Separate this out so that that's pretty taut. Okay, so I'm just using the socket wrench to tighten this. I've got about 5 millimeters of play there, maybe a little more. So nice and tight. Back off. And that's not 17 mil, so adjustable to get that tightened up. Now I just snugged these and I used my rubber mallet just to push that back a bit so it would stay in place. Should probably go back a little more, but it's probably about 5mm play there anyway, so should be good. And yeah, so you have a second person pulling the chain taut while tightening the bolts. Yeah. Protected the rear frame is square to the main frame. Come pretty square to it. Once it's together and standing right, we'll be able to check it easier. So the next is to attach the rear wheels. Open. Okay, so one of these wheels has a drive shaft. This one here is not perfectly square, so this is going to go on this side. This piece here is not perfectly round. It's not perfectly round. It's going to go on this side. This side has a flat piece on the shaft. So this wheel will go here. Fender. Slide that right on there, nice and easy. Around it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And I guess this fender piece will have to go in between. They don't show fenders for the rear, so that is interesting. I'm not sure how that fender is going to go on. We will have to figure that one out. So we'll put that in there for now. And oh, you know what? Okay, so that fender has an attachment point in here. So I get the tire on backwards, but I can just undo that fender, turn it around. It just needs to be cut off of there. Anyway, so it'll come around like this. The hardware's already on here for that. I shall be able to get from the other side, so let's put this on for now. We'll worry about that afterwards. The other side will come on. It is good around surface. It's kind of funky because they've attached one of the rear fenders to the front tire. So I'm just going to cut this one off. And you can see that one there's this is a front fender. There's the attachment point for it. So it'll get attached underneath the forks. Put the nut on this side to hold the tire. She'll go to the front of the bike and put the front tire on. Can you see that now? Let me get my face in the way. There's the forks. So that slip out of there. There's 2 screws to mount the fender on. That's going to get through the brakes. I'm just going to cut this fender off, and then we'll see about how we get it through the brakes. Wave that tire a bit to get it through. We should take a look at the instructions and see what they say. Okay, so there's the front fender. They say to remove the front fork protector or something. I'm not sure whether they just meant the cardboard. I'll follow some of this. The hardware so the fender, to me, that's all I have to do for the fender. And the hardware is outside. So I'm just going to attach it like that, and if I have to change it, we'll change it. Basically there's a screw in the front of the fork here. That through this little piece that comes up through the fender. Okay, so that's not making proper sense because these are not able to attach to that. Okay. These loops here will have to go onto these screws out on the fork. So the little pin striping is towards the pedals. See, on the original design there was a bolt that comes all the way through here, so it's not quite the same as what's written down. Okay. Well, I'm hoping that makes sense. Although, that doesn't make sense according to their diagram. Unless, you know what's wrong is this thing's 180 degrees out. These forks should have been turned around when I put the handles on. So, that is fine. Yeah, so it's okay. I just have to loosen that up and spin it around. But it's not going to affect anything right now. Other than, it's not going to hit the frame either. So the next thing is just to get the tire down through the brakes and mount this on. I might have to loosen off the brakes to do that. I'll have to see if I can do that. See what they say for that. So let me read this and see what they say. I might have to take one of these off to get the tire in, but I'll see what the manual says. So all I did was I lifted this brake piece out. I don't know if you can see that on the video or not, but where the cable comes through, you can lift that out of the socket that's there. So now I got to try and put that back in, which may prove to be difficult unless I loosen off the cable. So let's see if I can get that or not. I won't be able to get it on video, but it's just basically you're unattaching it from the one side where the cable comes up to the caliper or whatever you want to call it for the brake. So you have to pull it out of that so that the brakes separate out enough that you can drop the wheel in. Now you're going to put it back together, and you may have to loosen that off so you can pull it back together, but I'll find out in a second. Okay, so I had to follow the instructions. I undid the brake cable from this side, pulled it off to release the brake. And now I'm at the point where I can flip the bike over, and I'll have to redo the handle properly. So I'm just going to stop the video again for a second, flip the bike over, and then we'll go about putting the fenders on the back and redoing this. Okay, so I've flipped the bike over. I'm not sure if I covered that already. Got the front brake figure it out. I'm going to leave adjusting to the brakes to the very end. I did my 180 on the handlebars. Going down to where it's got to be. Skip and head to putting the fenders on the rear here, so it shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Got a reflector on the back already. That'll make it easier to figure out. That's what I'll do on this side. As the mounts have to go on the inside, so I can already see the reflector on this side. So that'll just need my screwdriver. Which I hid. Just had to do the reflector. Let me put that down. Hiding underneath. These are pretty easy to figure out. I'm just going to undo the 3 screws that are in the frame. Which can be tight. Back this one back out and get a socket to do this. So that's it. I'm going to back those 3 screws out, put the fender on, and tighten it into place. Okay, so we get the seat next. I need a 14mm socket. But basically, that's going to go into the bottom of the seat, and it's going to stop. You can only get this thing one way. There's a stop so that doesn't go all the way through. And we have to tighten this up so that it's not loose in there. So I'm going to have to get a 14mm socket. So I don't think this one's 14. That's only 10. So let me get a 14. Okay, so we get the 14. Tighten that in there. I'm going to go get a 14 box wrench instead because I'm just marking up that leather. And of course, that's going to fit in there. I'll just Tighten that around. Clamps over. It's pretty solid. And now to loosen that up to set the right tilt on that. So that's something to keep in mind when you're tightening this up. You gotta set the how you want that level, right? Get it straight, and then tighten it down. Alright, let me take some of this stuff off. I think I should note too, when you're putting the fender on the front, I had to lower this down so that the front brake catch wouldn't scratch up the fender. It already scratched it a bit there, so make sure you mount that nice and low. So, other than the basket's not on, we can see if there's anything else that has to be done. I inflated the tires up to 50 pounds. They say between 40 and 60, so I'll try 50 and see how that is. Oh, we gotta put the pedals on yet. So the pedals are threaded differently. You gotta make sure you get the right one on. This one's marked left. And there is a direction to show you how to turn it in. Thread them in by hand, and you won't worry about mucking up the threading. That's 15 millimeter. The other side's going to thread in the opposite direction. Okay, that's done. Let's see what else they say. So that's pretty much it, other than adjusting your brakes. These caps that came on can go on. Goes over the bolt. I will just double check that that's on nice and tight. That was 17 mil. Good. Do the same to the other side, and there's a little one for the front. I didn't have it for both sides, so So I'll have to look in the box and see whether there's another one floating around for that or not. Might have popped off into the box or something. If not, not a big deal. The forks stick out enough, you're not going to hit that anyways. Just makes it look a little bit nicer. Other than that, it's, how do you say, check the brakes and have to set up the height for who's ever riding it. And that's it. I'll put the basket on another time.